For today's class, we'll talk about how to automate some of the SEO tasks using AI, which has really emerged and popped up in the recent months. So I'll talk about, before we even jump into how to use it, talk a little bit about like what is AI, talk about ChatGPT and Bard and some other tools. Then I'll show you ways to automate SEO, such as keyword research, how to do keyword research using AI, how to write content using AI that's okay from Google. Again, we're going to make sure that everything is according to Google standards, because they have web or guidelines that they want you to follow. And if you do the wrong things, instead of ranking higher, you actually drop down in rankings. But Google said if you use AI to write content, as long as it offers value, they don't really mind. So we'll talk about that, how to do some competitor analysis, because with digital marketing and SEO, everything is transparent. I can see what you're doing. You can see what I'm doing. So the best strategy is look at what your competitors are doing and incorporate what's working into your own website, because that's going to get Google to trust you and rank you in a similar way that your competitors are getting that traffic. And then from there, talk a little bit about how to optimize your website using ChatGPT and AI, and then talk about some ethical considerations to just take into consideration and be aware of when you're using AI and tools like that. But right now, I'm sure everyone's heard of ChatGPT or heard of AI, which is really just taken off in November 30th, 2022 is when it popped up, ChatGPT. And ever since then, it has just been growing and growing. And it is actually the most used website, or had the most signups out of any website ever. So I think like Instagram, it beat out Google, it beat out all these platforms in terms of new users. Once ChatGPT popped up, it just grew so very quickly. And it's created by OpenAI, and it's free to the public. If you go to chat.openai.com, you could sign up, create an account. It's free. They also have a paid version. If you want the paid version, it just runs a little bit quicker, because ChatGPT was one of the most popular websites. So it's not the fastest at times. If a lot of people are using it, it kind of slows down. So if you buy the premium version, which I think is like $20 a month, then it'll kind of give you preferential usage where you won't have those slowdowns and you won't run into issues. But the free version is sufficient, and you don't really need the paid one unless you're using ChatGPT all the time and you're doing a lot of searches all day long. But if you're only using it a few times a day or just once in a while, then you don't really need the paid version. But it doesn't hurt. It's really just up to you. And this is what ChatGPT looks like. So here's an example of pretty much what the AI is. You can see they're giving you examples of questions that you could put in there. And then it's kind of like Google. There's a little search bar, put your question or whatever you want to put in there, hit search or hit the little paper plane, and it will kind of give you an answer. It's kind of interesting to see and use and play around with it, because it will talk back to you and responds to you. And it's pretty interesting how it works. And it's just growing and learning, because the more people that use it, the more it learns and the more accurate it becomes. Right now, it's not 100% accurate. So I wouldn't just copy or believe whatever it says. But the more people that use it, the more accurate it's going to become. And so OpenAI popped up, and OpenAI is really made by Bing, Microsoft, which owns Bing. So Bing has OpenAI or AI incorporated into the search results, which Google said, hold on, we need to figure something out, because if Bing is going to have AI and ChatGPT is one of the most widely used websites, and we could have ChatGPT in Bing, then Google needs to have their own AI version, because they don't want to lose that search volume or that search traffic. They want to remain the #1 search engine, because Google really just dominates and brings in so much traffic compared to Bing or any other platforms. I've been doing SEO since 2007. And over the years, I've looked at hundreds, probably thousands of websites, analytics, and where their traffic comes from. Google will bring in probably like 20 to 80% of a website's traffic. Bing will bring about 1%. Yahoo will bring about 1%. Then the rest is going to come from like social media, email marketing, paid ads, people just typing your website in directly. But Google really just dominates. And I've never seen another search engine bring in more traffic than Google. And Google wants to keep that. They don't want to lose that traffic to Bing or Yahoo or DuckDuckGo or any of these other search engines. So Google said, all right, we need to figure this out really quickly. So they released what is called Bard. And that's Google's version of AI It's free as well. So if you go to bard.google.com, you can sign up and you'll have access to Google's version of Bard. This was launched in March 21st of 2023. So a few years after a few months after ChatGPT was released. So ChatGPT was in November of 2022. Google put theirs out in March because they're just like, we need to put something out sooner and later. We don't want to lose this traffic. We need to keep people on Google because the more people that use Google, the more money Google makes. Google makes all their money off those ads. And the more people that search on Google, the more people that are going to click on those ads and keep Google making more money. So Google is going to do whatever they can do to stay competitive in the market. And that was releasing their natural language processing tool of Bard. And here's an example of what Bard looks like. And it looks very similar to ChatGPT. They pretty much are almost the same. It's just each one's going to work a little differently. So when I'm doing this presentation today of how to use AI for SEO, you probably want to use Bard because Google owns Bard. And with SEO, we're really trying to optimize for Google. We want to get that traffic from Google. So SEO is search engine optimization, which means ranking websites on the different search engines. But really nowadays, Google just runs the show. So if we're going to do our research, you could use ChatGPT, but I would say use Bard for some of these things because you're just going to get some more data that's pulled from Google, like keyword research. You can see how many people search for keywords every single month. And if you're using ChatGPT, it's probably going to pull it from OpenAI or from Bing, versus if you're using it from Bard, it's going to pull it from Google. So both are good, and I'll show you examples using each tool so you can see how some are going to work, some might not work, especially for keyword research, which is one of the most important things. Keyword research is really the starting point of SEO because you want to figure out what keywords do you want to rank for, because you don't want to just rank for any keyword. You want to really figure out, all right, what are people searching for? And then you take those keywords and incorporate them into your website and the coding and all these technical areas. But it's better to figure out what keywords you want to put in your website first versus guessing, putting the keywords on your website and then realizing you put the wrong keywords in there. You have to go back and make changes. So keyword research really is one of the starting points of SEO. And there's so many different ways to do keyword research. It's kind of up to you on how you want to do keyword research, but I'll show you a couple ways that I do keyword research, but with using AI. So in the past, there's tools where I would just manually go into Google and search for my keywords and see what pops up. So I'll show you an example. So if anyone has a keyword that you want me to show you how I potentially search for it using Bard or even on Google, if you want to throw it in the chat. And here you can see here's ChatGPT, what it looks like. Here's what Google Bard looks like. So they're both pretty similar in terms of what they look like. And it's just on you of what questions you put in there. But if there's no keywords, I don't know if anyone wants to throw a keyword in the chat. I see Nicole put wedding musician. So in the past, if I was doing keyword research, one quick, easy way to do keyword research is use Google. Search Google, and Google's going to show you a bunch of information that is going to really help out. So when you search on Google, you can see the ads at the top. These are all paid ads. This related keywords box is a paid tool. Don't worry about that. But what matters is when you scroll down on Google, you'll see this blue clickable link right here. This is called the SEO title tag. And this is where everyone puts their keywords. So you can quickly see what other people are putting for keywords. When you put wedding musicians in, you can see ensembles and soloists pops up, wedding musicians for hire near me, wedding musicians for hire, live wedding music ideas. And this is where everyone is putting their keywords. So these are what keywords these websites are targeting. And you can look for similarities. It looks like everyone is, or a lot of people are putting the word hire in here. So that's where you can see, are you trying to hire wedding musicians, things like that. But let's just open up one of these pages, and using ChatGPT or Bard, I could say, can you tell me what keywords this page is targeting? Because this page ranks on that first page of Google for wedding musicians. Let's see what other keywords it ranks for. So using ChatGPT, we could try it out on ChatGPT and see if it pops up. So what keywords does this page rank for? And let's see if ChatGPT can do it. So ChatGPT It's not always going to respond back. You can see, I apologize, I don't have direct access to the internet. So let's go to Google Bard and let's type it into Bard and see what Bard says. So you can see Google's Bard is actually going to go crawl this website and pull all the keywords that it thinks this page is about. Again, this is not accurate. It's good, but it's not 100% accurate. So I want to just copy it verbatim, but definitely use this as like a starting point for keyword research. So we put the keyword wedding musicians into Google. We saw who ranked on that first page of Google, and we just took one of the websites and said, all right, Google, what pages is this website also about? So wedding musicians, wedding band, wedding DJ, how to choose wedding musicians, and so on and so on. It also shows you other keywords this page ranks for. So you can see all these other keywords potentially. And the nice thing about Google is you can say, all right, give me search volume. So give me search volume for these keywords in a table with competitiveness. So basically, it'll show you how many people search for these keywords every single month. And this data is available for anyone. So you can just go to the Google Keyword Planner, which is a free tool from Google that will show you how many people search for these keywords every single month. But using Bard, you could just ask Bard how many people search for these keywords every single month. And you can quickly see 100,000 people search for wedding musicians every single month. Wedding band gets 150,000 monthly searches. And then you can see how competitive it is. So you can see how much competition there is for this keyword. So you can see if it's low, medium, and high. And this is where I try to figure out, all right, if I'm a small startup, if I'm at like a brand new company, I'm a small mom and pop shop, then I want to go for these low competition keywords. I don't want to go for these medium or high ones because these are going to be really tough to rank for. Eventually, over time, you can rank for them. But if you're just a brand new website, just starting off, you want to go for websites that are similar in competitiveness than you. If you're more established, you've been around for a long time, then you can probably go for some of the medium-sized keywords. If you're a big corporation or a big website, then you can go for the higher competition ones. But again, you want to just be realistic and understand like where you are. If you're starting off, you don't want to target these really competitive keywords. And the thing about keywords, though, also is you want to target what are called long tail keywords, keywords that are 2 or more words. Because just because these get a lot of search volume doesn't mean they're the best keywords. Like wedding musicians gets 100,000 searches, or like wedding DJ gets 200,000 searches. But what does that mean? Like if you're a wedding DJ and you're trying to sell your services, 200,000 people are searching for wedding DJ, but how many of those people actually want to hire a wedding DJ? Not all of them, maybe 20, 30% of them, because a lot of people are going to be searching about like, what is a wedding DJ? How do I become a wedding DJ? There's so many different things that people are going to be searching for. There's no real intent behind that. So if you're a wedding DJ, you might say, all right, wedding DJ Los Angeles, if you're in Los Angeles, or wedding DJ for reggae music or jazz music or whatever you want to focus on. But you can get more niche, and the longer the keyword, the less people are going to be using that keyword, but the more intent behind that keyword to actually want to use your product or service. So just targeting keywords just to target them, it's not really the best strategy. You want to target buyer intent keywords, keywords that have intent, that they actually want to utilize your product or service. And you can see, I mean, Google's going to tell you a bunch of stuff in here. And if we ask ChatGPT to give me search volume for keywords, ChatGPT is not going to be able to give you that data. So Bard from Google, you can even download it right here. You can export it to Google Sheets, and then you could start playing around with it. And it gives a lot of, really makes things very, very helpful. You can even tell them to group the keywords, group these keywords into related topics. So basically create little like silos or hierarchies of keywords saying, all right, here's the main keyword, wedding music. And then from there, so the way this works is like you put a page on your website about wedding music, but then you want to also put pages about all these other keywords that support the parent topic. So the parent topic would be wedding music, which is one you want to rank for. But to rank for that keyword, wedding music, Google says you should probably have content related to wedding musicians, wedding band, wedding DJ, wedding music tips, wedding music budget. And these should all be their own unique pages that are pretty much like blog posts. These are all content ideas that you can write blog posts for that link back to the main topic of wedding music or wedding music trends. Here's another one. And I don't want to spend too much time on keyword research because I could pretty much make this whole topic about keyword research and how to use ChatGPT to do keyword research, because keyword research is one of the most fundamental starting points of SEO. You have to do keyword research to figure out what keywords people actually search for. Then once you find these keywords, you want to add them to your website. I don't really have time to talk about where to add them to your website. It gets a little technical, but one place that's really easy is the content on your website, meaning the text on your page. Every page on your website needs text. Google feeds off text. They can't really read images or videos. They're getting better at it, but they really rely on text. The more text you have on every single page on your website, the easier it is for search engines to read, understand, and really know what keywords you're targeting. So every page on your website needs content, and doing keyword research is going to help you figure out what keywords you want to sprinkle in that content on that page. It's also going to help you figure out how you want to build your website out in a structure that makes sense of what type of hierarchy. How do you want to build your website with like your homepage and your categories, subcategories, subcategories, subcategories. This will help you structure it all out, make sure it's in a way that's easy to read, easy to understand, and easy for the search engines to crawl and go through. And yeah, so this is just one starting point for keyword research. And there's lots of different ways. There's lots of different tools out there. You could buy paid tools if you want to buy some tools, but essentially the Google Keyword Planner is sufficient, and it's from Google, and it's going to give you that data. And using Google Bard AI is going to help you tap into that data a little bit quicker to help you save time. And I do see some questions coming in about keyword research. So I think, let me see, instead of ranking for a single word, can we rank for a long tail phrase of like 8 words? And yeah, the longer you do, the better. So if you have 10 words, 20 words in your keyword, that's still a keyword. It's all long tail keywords, and it doesn't really matter. The more words, the less people that would be searching for it, but the more intent behind that keyword search. So here's an example of what ChatGPT would look like if I put the word SEO classes in here. You see the search volume, how competitive they are. And I told it to make it into a table, so it makes it easy to read. And it's pretty nice that it does that. And you can do that for ChatGPT. It'll make tables and things like that. I did make this video just because using Bard or ChatGPT, they can get overloaded at times. So I didn't want to do a live class and then figure out that ChatGPT was overused or not working. So here's an example of me searching and pulling that data, but live is always a lot better. So I'll keep pulling these live examples as long as ChatGPT and Bard aren't overused. We'll keep searching on them. And one big one that has a lot of debate right now is content. So ChatGPT can write content for you. And with SEO, like I was saying earlier, content is one of the most important things. Google feeds off text, and you need to have text on your website. And AI tools will write content for you, which is kind of nice. It saves a lot of time, but I won't just copy and paste whatever these tools give you, because it's not really accurate and it's still learning, and it's definitely really far off from being accurate. So if you just ask it to write you an article about like wedding musicians, it'll write you an article, but probably half the information is going to be wrong, and it's not going to be a good user experience. It's not going to offer value, and it's probably going to do more harm than good. So when you're writing content, Google actually said about 6 months ago, earlier in 2023, that in the past, they didn't want content written by AI, but now they said they don't really care who writes the content, if it's written by a human or AI, as long as it offers value. That's the most important thing, is you got to make sure your content offers value. If it's incorrect, if it's wrong, it's not going to offer value. So with ChatGPT, I won't just copy and paste. It is good to kind of like start off with like building an outline. That's really great. But in terms of writing articles and blogs and top content right now, it's not there yet. Maybe in like a few years, it will be perfect. But with SEO, a lot of it is content, and I have lots of writers, and I still use writers. I don't want to use AI. and these tools because it's not accurate and it's not going to provide a good user experience, and it's going to do more harm than good in the long run. I've seen lots of websites rank with AI written content, but that's just short-lived, and all this stuff, Google just can change their mind at any time and say, okay, now we don't want AI written content. And then anyone that has all this AI written content has to go back and remove it all, because Google makes the rules, and they pretty much decide what they want, and they could go back and forth with the rules. Like in the past, they didn't want AI written content. And I've had tools ever since I've been doing digital marketing back in 2007. There's tools that will write content for you. They'll make content original. It just didn't read properly. Nowadays, it's really, really good and it reads really, really well, but it's not accurate. So just beware. With content, the biggest thing is it has to be original. You can't just copy content from one page to another. It becomes duplicate content. With AI, it writes 100% unique content, which is also kind of crazy and a little scary to see that it writes that content so perfectly well. But it'll also spell check for you. So you could give it a page on your website and can say, can you check this page out for any issues with grammar or spelling? So like we could go back to this example right here, and we could go to both ChatGPT and Bard and say, can you spell check and check the grammar for any issues? Let's see if ChatGPT, so again, ChatGPT says we don't have the ability to access external URLs, but if we go to Google Bard and put that same prompt in there, let's see what Google will say. Because Google crawls the internet. I'm not sure why ChatGPT doesn't give you this data. I'm sure in the future they will, because they do crawl the internet. ChatGPT is part of Microsoft, which is part of Bing, which is a search engine. They're just not giving that data out yet right now. But here you can see this will spell check. So you could go and pretty much copy all the URLs on your website, throw it into Bard, and it'll spell check and look for grammar and any issues with it. So you can see where in the fourth sentence, the word playlist should be plural, the corrections will be, so it's pretty much telling you what needs to be done to fix this, fix the spelling, fix the grammar issues. But let me show you a couple other prompts. So you could even tell it to like write me an article about, and let me see one of the other keywords. So we could put the keyword in here, like brain supplement. I saw JD put that in there. So write me an article about brain supplement. And it'll write you an article, which is pretty nice. But how accurate is it? That's the biggest thing, especially for health and wellness, anything related to finance. Those are where you have to be very, very careful. Google's not just going to take any content, especially with health and like your money. Google doesn't want to give out false or incorrect information. So they really fact check that stuff. And they want what's called EAT or EEAT. So when you're writing content, they look for expertise, experience, authoritativeness, and trust. And so you could even tell ChatGPT to rewrite this for SEO using Google EEAT. And it will write the content to be SEO optimized. Again, I don't trust this. It's not accurate. It's a good starting point, but I would not copy this verbatim, because what it does is, the way these AI tools work is they just go around the internet and they're just reading what other people wrote on the internet, but they don't know what's accurate and what's not accurate. It's just a robot. It's just a tool. So it's just going through all the content and pulling what it thinks is accurate, but it's not always accurate. And sometimes does what's called AI hallucinations, where it just makes up stuff. So if it doesn't know the answer to that question, like if it didn't know what a brain supplement was, it would just make something up and put it out there. And the bad thing is if I take that article and publish it on my website, and then someone else asks ChatGPT or Google Bard the same prompt that I asked, it might read my blog post that I published on my website, which is really just fake information that AI wrote by itself, just guessing. So you can see how it had this downward spiral of just putting out fake information. Then it reads it online. It thinks it's accurate. And then it gives it to other people. So be careful with this. As long as the content's accurate and offers value, then post it. The better way to be is give me an outline for this content. So instead of writing the content for you, give me an outline. It's a good starting point. And then from there, I could fill it out myself and check for accuracies. But if you're just asking it to write it, it's probably not going to be best. So you can see this is a really long outline. This is really nice. And it's writing all these details. So you could use this. You can see like, here's the introduction. Here's what you want to include in it for like probably the first couple paragraphs. Here's the next section. What are brain supplements? Here's another one. Key ingredients in brain supplements. Here's another one. Advances of brain supplements for cognitive activity. So it gets pretty detailed. And you can do the same thing for Bard. So here's that same prompt. Write me an article about brain supplement. And Bard will write you an article too. And both will be different. Both are going to have different information. And hopefully Bard will be a little bit more accurate because Google is looking at the SEO, the EEAT, to make sure that what they put out is accurate, because Google doesn't want to just put out anything. They want to be careful with it. So you think that this might be a little bit more accurate, but still don't copy verbatim, especially if it's coming from Bard. Google knows that it's coming from Bard, and this is not really going to offer value. If you're just copying and pasting the same thing that anyone else could ask, it's probably not going to help out. So using it and then putting your own perspective, putting in your own voice, your own tone, putting your own spin on it, that's where you can offer value. So doing something more of like, write me an outline. Is going to be much better versus just having it write that content for you. So you'd see, here's the outline that it wrote. And it's kind of similar to what ChatGPT. It's not the same, but it's similar. And both of them are going to be really good and really useful starting points to just help you kind of just get a little starting point and just figure out, what should I start writing about? Here's good content, good keywords. And it can also write product descriptions. So if you're an e-commerce website and you're selling like blue jeans, you could say like, write me a product descriptions for blue jeans, SKU number, blah, blah, blah. And it'll write a unique description for all that stuff. And it really just helps save time and helps you just automate some of this kind of creative aspects of writing content, but just again, don't copy verbatim. Got to make sure whatever you put out there offers value. That's what the search engines are looking for. We don't want to do anything that's going to harm your website and potentially get you penalized, because if Google penalizes you, instead of ranking higher, you drop down, and getting out of a penalty is very, very hard. It takes a lot of time, and we don't want to have you deal with any of those issues. So another thing these tools can do is help with competitive analysis. So with SEO, big part of SEO is really trying to outrank your competition. So with SEO, we're not trying to beat Google. Google changes their algorithm every single day. So even if we did figure out how Google works, tomorrow it changes, the next day it's going to change, and it's going to keep on changing. So we don't have, it'd be great if we could figure out what Google want or how Google ranks a website, but we're not going to figure that out. But what matters is who's on that first page of Google for your keywords, how much SEO have they done, and how can we do a better job of what they're doing. So we could look at your competitors, and we could look at their keywords that they're putting on their website. We could look at what are called backlinks, and we can see where their backlinks are coming from, because backlinks are one of the most important aspects of SEO. So the way Google works is Google will look at your website for keywords in different places. That helps them figure out what that page is about. But unfortunately, Google doesn't really care what content you put on the website, because they don't trust anybody. They don't believe that you are who you say you are without you building trust. And the way to build trust is by getting what are called backlinks, getting other websites to link out to you. What is a backlink? A backlink is a clickable link from another website that points to yours. So let's say you're reading an article in the LAtimes.com. In there, it says Brandon Leibowitz. If you click on that and it goes to my website, I would be getting a backlink from the LAtimes.com. So the more websites that have clickable links that point to yours, the more trust Google is going to give to you. And then they look at those keywords on your website. But it doesn't work the other way around. Without building backlinks, Google's just not going to trust the website. So when we're doing competitor analysis, we want to look at your competitors to figure out what keywords they're utilizing, what backlinks they're utilizing, and how can we get those similar sites to link out to you? How can we get those similar keywords to be incorporated into your own website? So let me then pull up the AI, ChatGPT, and Bard, and we could find competitors from websites. So we could just put a Google, or we could essentially just go into ChatGPT, and I see Jesse put in there as a keyword that they want to search for meditation cushions. So we could say, give me a list of competitors that rank for the keyword meditation cushions. We could put that in Google Bard and see what they say. So you could see here they're putting yoga outlet, Lululemon, Manduka, Amazon. So here's all the websites that, so you can see these are just a few of the many competitors that rank for meditation cushions. By understanding your competitors, you could develop a marketing strategy that will help you stand out from the crowd. So you could say, all right, what keywords do these websites also rank for? So you can get even more keyword ideas. And sometimes it's not going to work. So with Bard, you might have to ask the same question twice. It might say the first time we can't help you out, but then the second or third time it'll help you out. It's really strange. So if it doesn't always work, try it a few times and you'll see that eventually it will start working. And you can also see like here's all these keywords that each one of these websites ranks for. So doing competitor analysis, we could quickly see what patterns, like we could see that yoga mat appears here, yoga mat appears here, appears here. So you can kind of get like trends and see which keywords are commonly emerging. Then you could say, can you group these into related topics? Or can you group these keywords into related topics? So then it should kind of build out a structure and a hierarchy of like, here's the main topic, meditation, and here's all the keywords related to it. Here's another topic, yoga, and then here's all the keywords related to it. And then yoga accessories, and here's all the keywords related to that. And then we can do what we were doing earlier, like show me search volume. And it'll show you how many searches these keywords get every single month. So it really helps kind of speed things up instead of having to go into Google and manually search for them and then go to the Google Keyword Planner and use the Keyword Planner to show you the search volume. It'll show you it all right here. And it gives you like little tips and advice about using long tail keywords and other things like that. I guess I forgot one thing about keyword research though. Anytime I do find a good keyword, like if I thought meditation cushion was a good keyword, I want to rank for that keyword, I would copy that keyword and search it in Google and see who ranks. And if it's just a bunch of corporations and I'm a small or medium-sized business, I might skip that keyword. So right now I can see like number 1 is Amazon, number 2 is Mind Body Green, number 3 is Hugger Mugger, Glam, Etsy. I'm not the most familiar with meditation cushions, so I don't know all these, but it looks like there's some big corporate websites in there. And if I'm a small, just startup company, I might say, all right, this keyword might be a little too competitive. Let me try to find a more long tail keyword. So you even say like, give me long tail variations of these keywords. And it should be able to find long tail, less competitive keywords. So you can see here's some long tail keywords. So again, keywords that are 2 more words. The more words, the better. So these are all long tail keywords. Like best meditation. So instead of ranking for meditation cushions, it's going to be very competitive. let's rank for meditation cushion for hips, for knees, for beginners, for back pain, for whatever, travel, home practice. So these are all great ideas to help you just with that keyword research. With the, I was saying earlier, with backlink or with the competitive analysis, really we want to look at backlinks. Unfortunately, you can't look at backlinks without buying tools. You have to use paid tools to check backlinks. So using these tactics to find my competitors, like here's a list of all my competitors, Yoga Outlet. I still have to take them and manually put them into tools to see their backlinks. There's no shortcut to do that, unfortunately, with AI yet. Maybe soon, but right now you can't do that. So to look at backlinks, you have to buy tools. There's a couple big tools out there. The more popular ones would be like Ahrefs, Ahrefs, Moz, M-O-Z, or SEMrush, SEMrush. I just pick one of those tools. You don't need to buy all of them. Just pick one of those tools and they'll show you any website's backlinks. And one by one, you can start going through all their backlinks and seeing which ones are related, relevant, authoritative, and try to build those backlinks. For today, just really want to show you how you could use AI to just automate and speed things up a little bit. But again, don't trust any of this stuff. You got to double check, triple check, because it's not 100% accurate yet. The more people that use it, the more accurate it's going to become, but it's still not there. So that's a quick way to use AI for competitive analysis. So identify competitors. So when it comes to looking at competition, we want to figure out who your competitors are. We could do that with ChatGPT. We could have them analyze on page, meaning look at their keywords that they're ranking for. You can do that with AI. 3, you can't really look at backlinks yet. So backlinks, can't do that. The ranking of competitors, can't really look at rankings or the traffic they're getting. Number 5, can't really do all that yet, but eventually over time, they're going to start doing more and more things, and it's going to start incorporating more and more features and functionality into AI, and it's going to start doing more things that will just help kind of speed things up. And here's another little video that I wanted to just show just in case. So this is my website, SEO Optimizers. I was like, give me a list of competitors to my website. So you can see the first time I did it, it said, I'm not able to do it. But I repeated the question again, and it answered it. So it's kind of weird. Sometimes you have to ask it 2 or 3 times on Bard, but you could tell it, give me a list of competitors to my website, and you put your URL in there and it'll give you a list of competitors. And it's not always accurate, so just take everything with a grain of salt, but it does kind of help speed things up a little bit. So use these tools, just knowing that it's a tool, but it's not better than you manually double and triple checking all the stuff and doing it yourself. And then optimizing your website. So a big part of SEO is going in and making changes to your website. So Google, again, the way they work is they look at the content on your website, and then they look at your backlinks and a lot of other things in between it. But those are really the 2 bigger pieces of how Google works. So when we optimize your website, there's a lot of things that ChatGPT can actually do for you and kind of automate and speed things up. So kind of talked about the first one, which is creating content, because content is one of the most important things. You need to put content on every single page on your website. The more text you put on each page on your website, the more likely the search engine is going to be able to read, understand, and really rank you for the correct keywords. So make sure you put a couple hundred words of content on every single page. You can use ChatGPT, GPT, and AI and Google Bard as like a starting point, but I would not just copy verbatim, especially when you're putting on your own website. You want to make sure that you're putting out accurate information that's in your own tone and voice and speaks to your audience in a way that resonates with them. But a couple of things that it can do are like writing title tags and meta descriptions, which I'll show you how it can do that. So, and you're probably wondering, what is a title tag or meta description? So let me show you what it is. So see a couple other keywords that people are putting in there is like class action law firms. So I've put in class action law firms into Google, I'm going to skip over sponsored or ads. They're not doing SEO, but the organic listings, you see this blue clickable link is called the SEO title tag. This white or black text, depending on what screen. I have dark mode on, so my text is inverted. So this white text is normally black when you're looking at it, but this is the meta description. So the SEO title tag, it's 60 characters. After that, it kind of gets cut off by the search engines. The meta description is 160 characters. Anything longer than that will also kind of get cut off. So you can see this one's getting cut off with a little ... because it's a little bit too long. But ChatGPT could write these for you. So let's open up this website. And just for example, I could tell, well, let's go back to ChatGPT and let's see if it can write me an SEO title tag for this page. And let's see if, okay, so ChatGPT could actually write it, which is nice. So this is one of the few times that ChatGPT actually worked, because most of the times it doesn't work. So you see it put top class action lawyers in Los Angeles and a little vertical pipe, Helmer Friedman LLP. So let's see what Bard puts in there. Because Bard is from Google, and when we're doing SEO, we're really optimizing for Google. So you can see they put this SEO title tag. Hyman Friedman LLP, Los Angeles class action lawyers, fight for your rights. Much different than what Bard put. And they'll give you little tips right here. Keep it under 60 characters, include keywords that are relevant to your page, put your company name in there, be concise. So the nice thing is Bard is actually giving you tips about how to make sure this is actually SEO optimized versus ChatGPT just wrote it. They don't really give you much feedback or much options. I do like ChatGPT's version, but I would not copy it verbatim. I would still double, triple check and see, all right, do I want to rank for top class action lawyers in Los Angeles or top class action attorneys in Los Angeles? Because each one of those is going to get a different amount of searches. Or top class action lawyer or lawyers, singular and plural. Those are going to get different search volumes. So I could actually tell, well, I don't know if ChatGPT will do it, but let's try it out. How many monthly searches do these keywords get? Yeah, I don't think it can do it, but Bard could probably do it because Google has access to search volume. So I'll copy that same thing. Let's see what Bard says. So you could see it's a big difference in search volume. Lawyers, plural, gets 10,000 searches. Lawyer, singular, only gets 5,000 searches. So if you're just guessing at what keyword you want to put in there, guessing is not going to be the right way. You want to do the keyword research, figure out what keyword gets the most search value, incorporate that into your website, and skipping over the ones that get less search volume, because top class action lawyers is your keyword. Now you want to figure out, do I want to use lawyer, lawyers? We can even do attorney and attorneys. So let's see how many searches does attorney, attorneys and attorney. Just to double check, because you always want to check. You don't want to just copy or trust anything. So you see top class action attorneys gets 3,000 searches. Attorney singular gets 1,000. So lawyers gets much more search volume, and the plural is the way to go. But you always want to double and triple check, because you never know until you really check what's going to get you the most searches. So that's a title tag. You can also say, write me a meta description. So kind of the same thing that we just did before is, let's see, write me an SEO and if you don't know where to put this stuff, I don't really have time to show you where to put this, but every platform is different. So if you're on WordPress, you could say, how do I add SEO title tags to WordPress? If you're on Shopify, how do I add an SEO title tag to Shopify? If you're on Wix, how to add an SEO meta description to Wix. And it'll show you how to do that. So here's the meta description that I wrote for this page, which is right here. And we could also do it on ChatGPT. Let's see if it will write that meta description. So yep, both of them wrote a meta description. Again, be careful. Don't just copy it verbatim. You want to double check, make sure it makes sense. It reads properly. It has accurate information, because sometimes it just makes stuff up and it does the AI hallucinations and it just throws stuff in there that's not really accurate, and it's not going to do more harm than good. You also have it like code for you, which is kind of nice. So, I mean, it doesn't do it perfectly, but it can code stuff in there. So you could say into like these platforms like right here. So if you ask questions like, what is the best yoga mat? You'll see these like people also ask section appears, and these like questions and answers appear. You can tell Google, or I mean ChatGPT, to find me the people also ask questions for this. So find me the people also ask questions. So here's all those questions. Then you could say add Schema org, which is a coding language that Google, Bing, and Yahoo created. And it just helps enhance your listings. I don't know coding. You don't need to know coding, luckily for SEO, especially nowadays with all these platforms. But it'll write code for you. But again, it's not accurate. So I would double, triple check all this stuff. There's tools that will check coding for you to make sure it's accurate. But it is nice that it will do this for you, which saves a lot of time. Again, you got to double check, especially with coding. It's not going to be accurate. There's tools like Google or Schema Validator. So I could copy this code, paste it into this validator, and it'll validate it. And this one actually got 0 errors, 0 warnings. It's great, but usually when I do it, half the time it'll show some errors. So that's where you got to keep asking it, like, fix the errors, and then you can tell whatever error to fix, and it'll do it for you, which is really, really nice and saves a lot of time. So yeah, it's not perfect, but it definitely works to save some time. And there's some ethical considerations to take into place, is definitely using it as a reference, not copying it verbatim, because it is not accurate. I asked it a couple months ago, who is Brandon Leibowitz? And it said, Brandon Leibowitz is a digital marketer, he does SEO, but then it also said that I died, which I was like, maybe a different Brandon Leibowitz, but it's mixing things up. So be aware it's not accurate. The more people that use it, the more accurate it's going to become. But I would say search your name and see what it says, see if it pulls in information that's accurate, or search your business name and see what it says. And it's also a little biased off its training data. So just be aware that sometimes they're going to say things that isn't going to be the full truth. Like if you ask it some questions, it's not going to really tell you the full answer. And just be careful with like misuse and abuse. You don't want to just use it and use it, because it's not perfect yet, but it is a great tool. It's a starting point. But big thing that's going to happen is now a lot of job displacement, but it's also going to offer a lot of new jobs out to people. So like myself, I do SEO. Not really too worried about SEO right now, but writers for SEO, they have to worry, because a lot of people aren't using writers anymore. But the content they're putting out there is not accurate. So you still kind of have to have editors and writers out there, but it's definitely going to change a lot of how everything works. And really just make sure you focus on value. That's the biggest thing with all this stuff, is just provide value. That's what the internet is there for, is for your website to answer questions that people have, or provide solutions to problems that people are having. And if you're not offering value, people aren't going to want to read your website or go to your website. They're not going to trust you anymore. So provide value. That's going to keep people on your website, keep people wanting to learn more, and keep them sticking there. And that is all for today. So I know there's a bunch of questions. I'm go through all of them and try to see if I missed anybody's. If you want to throw in the chat anything I missed. I see questions coming in like from Stephen, does Bard go beyond 2021? Yep. And Bard is, as you can see, going to give you much more information than ChatGPT. Both are good, and I would double and triple use all of them, but Bard is from Google. And if we're doing stuff for SEO, I would probably want to get more data related from Google versus ChatGPT, which is from Microsoft Bing. And Gary's asking, can I use this for an Amazon seller's account? You do this for anything, anywhere you do keyword research or different tasks, you could use this to help you out, to just kind of speed things up a little bit. I was asking, what are long tail keywords? Kind of talked about that. Keywords that are 2 or more words are long tail keywords. So the longer the word or phrase that someone searches, that's going to be a keyword. Let's see. And then it says, Adrian's asking about, what about creating using AI to create images? And you could use AI to create images. There's AI image creators. Again, those probably aren't going to be the best images, but you could use them and it will help out. If different people ask the same question, would it generate the same answer? And surprisingly, no. That's the really scary part, is every single time it creates 100% unique content, which is really kind of scary that it does that, because Google feeds off original content. So that's the good part. But is the content accurate? No. So that's where you gotta go in and double and triple check and make sure it really is relevant. And Gary was asking about backlinks. If they're a blogger writing about bakeries in Santa Barbara, how do I get backlinks from other bakeries? And I mean, there's lots of different ways to build backlinks. I have whole classes about backlinks. One good way is just find other bakeries in other cities that aren't competitors. So if you're in Santa Barbara and you're trying to get backlinks from other bakeries, you could reach out to bakeries in like San Diego or other parts of Los Angeles or California that aren't direct competitors, and they might be receptive. But it's all about getting creative and using those tools like Ahrefs, Moz, SEMrush to look at your competitors' backlinks, because then you can see all the backlinks your competitors are getting, and then one by one start reaching out to the sites that are related to what you're doing. And Mita was saying, why would a small business wouldn't want to use more high search volume keywords? And the reason why is because those high search volume keywords would be much more competitive. And the more competitive those keywords are, the more time it's going to take to rank for those keywords, which really means more backlinks. Everything comes down to backlinks. The more competitive a keyword is, the more backlinks your competitors are going to have. And that means you need to build more backlinks. So backlinks, that's how Google's algorithm first started. It was based off backlinks. That's why Google became popular. And it's still heavily based off backlinks to this day. It's changed a lot how they look at these backlinks, but still primarily based off backlinks and getting other websites to talk about you. And see, Mike is saying, would love to hear how these strategies are the same or different for YouTube SEO. And I mean, YouTube is going to be a little bit different, the way they rank websites on YouTube. Google owns YouTube, but it's a little bit different. So the way YouTube is ranking websites is they're looking at like the title of your video, the description. They're looking at like the content in the description. So if you could transcribe your video, that really helps out. They're looking at how long people watch your video. So if you have a video and it's 10 minutes and 1,000 people watch that video, but they don't watch it for 10 seconds, that's not good. But if you only get 10 people to watch that video and they watch it for the whole 10 minutes, that's much better than the 1,000 people watching it for 10 seconds, or how long they watch the video, how many likes, shares, comments, but really embeds. So when you share a video on YouTube, it says share. They'll say share on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, all these places. But then it says embed. And you can take that code and add the video to your own website or other websites. The more websites that embed that video, the more trust and the higher it's going to rank. And there's lots of plugins and extensions that you can add to Bard. I forget the names off the top of my head, but there's lots of tools that could help out with it. And Reg is saying Bard is good for getting keywords, but ChatGPT is good for content, and none of them are really good for content, not yet.
So I wouldn't really look at the content that they're putting out there because it's not really accurate. Let me see. I think I still have a few more questions. So just want to try to make sure I can get everyone's questions. And Adrian was asking, do images matter for SEO? And yep, images help out. Google can't really read images, so they look at the file name of that image. So when you have an image, you don't want to just have it image001.jpg. You want to name it something descriptive before you upload it to your website, or even like file names of a video or a podcast. You want to name them descriptive words. You don't want to just put image.jpg. That doesn't really help out. And Jesse's asking, yeah, do I have classes on where to put the keywords? Yeah, if you just search my name, Brandon Leibowitz, on YouTube, I have a bunch of classes I've thrown up there for free to watch. I think I got to almost all the questions. See, Mike, we are business to business. Does SEO nearly help as much as business to consumer? And it helps no matter what, if you're B2B, B2C, and if you are B2B, you're still selling to a person. So it's kind of B2C because I sell SEO to like a lawyer. I'm not really selling to the company, that lawyer company. I'm selling to that individual lawyer or that doctor. So it's still B2C, even though it is B2B, it's still kind of B2C where you're reaching out to that person. And hopefully this just helps you learn a little bit more about AI. But again, don't copy everything verbatim. Just use it as a starting point. It's not accurate. It's pretty good, but it's not there yet. So just use it as a tool to help you out, but double, triple check everything because you don't want to put out wrong information on your website and then you're going to provide a bad user experience. And we don't want that to happen. But thanks, everyone. Have a great rest of your day.